years of nothing, essentially. So maybe that gives you slight confidence, but I can't go more than a 2. I don't think.
That's fair. Like it has not been good enough. That's why 3. I thought a 3 because of the success of Matthew Nyes, and many teams probably would have taken Matthew Nyes a lot earlier. I thought Fraser Minton, before he got traded, could have been a guy that we could have seen play an everyday role this year. So, but yeah, I other than those 2, I like Easton Cowan maybe is the only other one I can see having an immediate future on this team.
Yeah, like Nick Moldenauer did nothing. Like I don't think Lazowski ended up getting another contract. Ty Voigt's done nothing. You go to the 2020 class. We talked about that a week ago. Horrendous. Like Hirvonen, Niemela, Villanova, Vjinikov, Mietnin, Joe Miller, John Fusco, Wyatt Shingles, Ryan Tverberg. None of those guys really amounted to anything, right? Mikhail Abramov, Mikko Kokkonen, Nick Abruzzese did nothing from the 2019 class. Okay, Robertson, sure, but even like Nicky Bobby, a little more bark than bite. There hasn't been much from Nick Robertson. He may not be here all that long either, and that so there's just not a whole lot of success stories when it comes to the Maple Leafs draft picks. But I think a 2 is appropriate.
All right, trading. How do you feel about Brad Living as his ability to make a deal?
I'm debating. I think a 4. I think a 4 could be appropriate. No, like where are you at?
Like he hasn't swung and made a massive deal, right? Like not like the ones he made in Calgary.
Oh, where right? like Matt Tkachuk for
like the Tkachuk deal
for
Huberdeau. Like we haven't seen him make that big move, but maybe at the same time it's kind of good that
trading away Mitch Marner, getting something out of Marner, I think was pretty big. No.
Oh, I think so too, considering the circumstances and like how that kind of turned into he's gone to they might actually get something, even though if people were trying to grade that trade, you have to put the asterisk of what the situation behind the trade was as well. Mm-hmm. So like to me, I'm not low on his ability to trade. I think people think the Scott Laughton deal wasn't a good deal. I think that's kind of unfair. I think that what they gave up, they had to give more to get the retention on the salary. Same with the Brandon Carl, they had to get the retention on that. But he is trying to find other ways to get deals done rather than just constantly having to trade a first round pick. Now, did he trade a first round pick? He has, because you have to give up something to get something. But he's also trying to unload some of those prospects that, like, I'm not going to lose sleep over losing a Fraser Minton or a Grabenkin. Like, those guys, like Minton, a lot of people liked what he brought, but his ceiling is not as high, right? You rather get the Brandon Carlo, who you know is going to be a top 4 defenseman for you. Scott Laughton, we had kind of hoped a little bit more from him, and maybe it's possible that there could be more for him. We have to kind of see what his role is going to be this year. But
we got 2 years of both of those guys.
Yeah.
Right? 2 kicks at the can, 2 cracks at it, which I don't think many people, those who were big haters on the deal, I don't think put a lot of weight into that, but no. I do. Like getting guys with term and also getting retention on it. Like Laughton, 50% retention. You're getting Laughton at $1.5 million this year. Pretty solid deal. Brandon Carlo, 15% retention. I think you're getting him for like 3.6 or 3.8. Pretty solid for a top 4 guy. So they paid a pretty penny, I think, to make it happen. But considering where the Maple Leafs are, I do still view them as like necessary moves. So he was willing to stomach making that move to make the team better. And I think that it did make the team better. And unlike the trades from the previous regime, they were trading for rentals all the time and getting nothing out of them, right? The Folignos, the Ryan O'Reillys, right? At least Laughton and Carlo, you get that second year. You get that second opportunity to win with them. I think that's valuable.
I do too, and I mean, I'll even give it a guaranteed 4 because he was actually able to trade Ryan Reeves for an NHL body.
Yeah. He actually got an NHL body for Ryan Reeves. He actually was somehow able to get a third and a sixth for Timothy Liljegren after his value had completely run out. So we thought he made some decent trades. He has made some pretty good moves over the course of his time here. Nothing that was like staggering, obviously. Like I still personally thought that getting Nicolas Waugh in as that Mitch Marner deal was pretty solid, considering that he was going to walk for nothing, get nothing out of it. To get a solid third line center out of the trade, out of the deal, I thought was pretty good. So, yeah, I think a 3 or 4 I'm good with. If you want to lock in 4, I think we can make that work. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we've got 2 more. Got to get to his free agent skills and the vision of the team moving forward. That's next here in the Locked On Leafs podcast.
Today's edition of Locked On Leafs podcast is brought to you by Indeed. If you just realized your business needed to hire somebody yesterday, how can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. When it comes to hiring, Indeed is all you need. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other sites. Indeed sponsored jobs put your post at the top of the page and helps you find the right candidates fast and helps you reach them faster. If you're somebody who doesn't want that setback every day because you don't have the right person for that job and you know that right hire is critical, it's exactly why you need to use Indeed sponsored jobs. It does come in handy. They make sure your post is seen by the right candidates right now. So now you can speed up your hiring process with the $75 sponsored job credit. Just go to Indeed.com/lockedon right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring, Indeed is all you need.
Welcome back into the Locked On Leafs podcast. Mike DiStefano, Dave Morsuti with you. We continue our front office confidence rankings, taking a look at the Maple Leafs front office and how we feel about the job that Brad Treliving and company has been doing with this organization. So we continue with our list here, and we take a look at free agency, I believe, is next on our list. So, Dave, on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being not all that confident, 5 being very confident, where are you at when it comes to Brad Treliving and his skills within free agency?
I want to go with a 4 for it. The Anthony Stolarz deal, that was a great move, great value for that. PTO for Steven Lorentz that eventually turned into a pretty solid 4th liner for you throughout the year. Thought that was a good deal. I guess, technically Max Domi was re-signed, so that he was signed and re-signed. I thought, I know that he hasn't exactly lived up to this contract, but I think he's provided some value, in your lineup. But he hasn't made the big move, right? That's the only thing is we thought maybe with the cap space he had, maybe he can try to go get a guy like, Brad Marchand. Some people thought maybe if Aaron Ekblad got to the open market.
But then you can't fault him for
no, I don't fault him.
Signing that didn't get there.
Right. Well, it's more so it just felt like the Leafs were never in on. We never heard they were close to signing some of the other top free agent guys, right? To me, I don't fault them too much on that. It's just it feels like they've had a hard time finding, a guy in free agency that can be an impact, a true impact player, other than the Stolarz one.
I'm gonna push back on that, Dave. I'm gonna push back on that.
Okay, wait. Tanev was also really good too.
Yes.
I'll give him a high grade on the Tanev deal. He had to pay
all term on it. Yeah, but OEL is also a solid pickup.
He was. He is a solid player. I'm just a little concerned maybe about the next couple of years on that deal. Like, he had to give a little more term to get these guys, and these are guys who are a bit older. But OEL, like, I can't fault him for that deal. I think OEL's worked out pretty good. Like, it's hard to get defensemen. He's redone the blue line. It's just like, yeah, the Tanev deal, love the player. The contract, I'm sure that's going to handle itself out down the road, depending on how long he is going to be playing for. But, like, it just felt like sometimes the Leafs just need that, I don't know, and maybe because it just hasn't really been there. That's probably my beef. It's not really with Treliving. It's just that free agency hasn't really brought the sizzle that I thought it would with the cap going up.
So what'd you give him? What are you giving him? What are you thinking?
I think now that I'll factor in the Tanev deal, I'll give him a 4, because the Stolars and Tanev deal were pretty, like, to get those two guys in under $7 million, or it's actually exactly at $7 million.
Yeah,
pretty good value.
Yeah, there's some misses as well, right? Ryan Reeves, we talked about that one ad nauseum of how horrible of a free agent signing that one was. But outside of that, like, there hasn't been a lot of misses. Like Max Domi, you could say what you want, as he paid a little higher than you want. Technically, that was a re-signing, like you mentioned. His first deal was pretty